In 1993, my San Francisco 49ers traded away Joe Montana to the Kansas City Chiefs. And we was all mad at George Seifert. The reason why? The 49ers dynasty broke up. Fat Boys in the 80s broke up. Later on in the 90s, the Wu-Tang Clan sort of broke up. New Edition stopped the show. They stayed breaking up. Getting back together, Bill Biv DeVoe coming back, broke up. Your Mom and Dad stopped the show. They was never together. Booty clapper sound. It was a one night stand, man. You was born in the back of an Oldsmobile, but don't be mad at me. Jesus still loves you. But we get it. Your mom and dad broke up. And that tends to happen in your prime, right? This is something that's an occurrence, you know? We've seen it. Death Row broke up. NWA broke up. But it's crazy to see somebody go through their whole entire life as a unit. They don't break up. Then in their 50s, they start beefing. That is exactly what happened with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Rewind, Dima. Man, listen, the 90s was one of the greatest times in the history of the United States, especially for professional sports. Anybody who got to see Scottie Pippen and Jordan play together, it was crazy. Before that, it was, Showtime with Michael Cooper, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem and Byron Scott. But man, when Pippen and Jordan came together, it was the best dynamic duo the world has ever seen. Between the two of them, 2 NBA titles. And even Michael Jordan went to the Hall of Fame and acknowledged that Scottie Pippen was his right-hand man. But what happened? I think I want to play this video to show what's the issue, and then I'm going to come back.
In 2009, when Michael Jordan entered the Basketball Hall of Fame, the first person he mentioned and thanked was Scottie Pippen.
You never just saw me, saw Scottie Pippen.
Next year, it was Michael who presented Scottie to the Hall of Fame. When Pippen worked on ESPN and had to do a LeBron versus Jordan comparison, Pippen said this.
And there's no game that I would ever play in and pick LeBron James over Michael Jordan.
But this was in 2018, when Scottie and Michael's relationship seemed like the happiest marriages. While Jordan was known to be a harsh teammate who bullied players and even punched Steve Kerr in the face, we never heard those kinds of stories about Scottie. And then came the pandemic, and the sporting world stopped.
He has just tweeted within the past 2 minutes that the NBA is suspending the season.
Deprived of anything to cheer for, Netflix offered a 10-episode salvation for all sports fans. It was The Last Dance, a long-awaited documentary about the last season of the Bulls dynasty, with behind-the-scenes footage nobody had ever seen before. And when the documentary came out, that's when Scottie's and Michael Jordan's relationship started to change. See, The Last Dance wasn't really a basketball documentary. It was more like basketball was just a means to an end, and where historic NBA events were used to tell a preset narrative. And that narrative was to glorify the cult of Michael Jordan and his place as the basketball GOAT. The Last Dance presented basketball in a way that can be understood by non-basketball fans and casuals. It was directed in a way that puts an individual over a team, which is not surprising, considering that director Jason Hare needed Jordan's approval to make the film, and that Jordan's presence in the film was conditioned by his control over the content. The Last Dance minimized the roles of Jordan's teammates, not properly explaining that MJ had by far the best supporting cast in the NBA. The documentary never mentioned that Steve Kerr was the most accurate three-point shooter of all time, that Horace Grant made 4 all-defensive teams, or that Tony Kukoc was the best European player and the most versatile power forward in the NBA.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are like enemies, especially with Pippen clapping back with his book, taking shots at Jordan because, his documentary pretty much uplifted himself and made Scottie Pippen and the rest of the Bulls look like beta males. And people are going to say, well, Michael Jordan's son is screwing Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. And this is the reason why Pippen is mad. Stop the show. Bruh, Pippen does not care about that, Tatiana. It doesn't matter. The reason why Pippen is mad is because of the disrespect. And Michael Jordan definitely disrespected Scottie Pippen during that documentary. So Scottie Pippen is clapping back. Scottie Pippen is now saying that Michael Jordan was a horrible player until Pippen came to the Bulls. Now, if you look at the stats, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because, Jordan had won the Rookie of the Year. He's scoring like 35 points a game, maintaining an unreal 55% field goal percentage without even at that time developing a mid-range jumper. So there's no way that Michael Jordan was a terrible player. But I believe what he means to say is Michael Jordan individually was a great player, but as far as working as a team and defending the best person on the team, that's something that, Jordan didn't do. I mean, if you look at the first NBA Finals that they won, I believe it was in '91, Scottie Pippen was the one that was guarding Magic Johnson, and that changed the whole entire series. So what's going on here is they've been going back and forth. Really, it's Pippen talking about how Michael Jordan is selfish. He's saying all these different things. Jordan said the same thing about him in the documentary. And what we're really getting at right here is Pippen is just like almost any other black man. We don't show our men any respect. And that's the whole point of this video. You see, these two guys accomplished so many great things together. Jordan would have never been able to do it without Pippen, and especially the other people on the roster, the Craig Hodges, the Will Perdue's, the Steve Kerrs, the BJ Armstrongs, the Horace Grants, the Dennis Rodmans. The fact is, he needed those people to be a 6-time NBA champion. He probably has one of the best supporting casts of all time, Tony Kukoc. But the reality is that Michael Jordan looks at the situation as if he did it all by himself. And that's one of the reasons why black men, no matter how much money we can make together or we can do together, we never want to acknowledge what a brother has done for us. And that's something on this channel I want to always get to. You see, as men, and it goes back to the whole situation you guys got mad at me about with the Julius Randle thing. We get our men who help us achieve something, and then we ignore our men and want at least personal gratitude or go give that energy to somebody who didn't help us get it. Then you get this. And as black men, we got to understand that is not cool, bro. We can never downplay what men have helped us achieve. And I want to just thank you brothers right now for all of the years. I mean, I see brothers that comment, brothers send me stories. Brother John Carter, shout out to brother Kelvin Hardy. So many brothers out there, Mark Cruz, that send me good stuff every day. You brothers have been supporting me. You introduced me to people. Some of you I've met you guys in Africa. I've met you guys in Europe. I've met you guys in London. I've met you guys in Dubai. I mean, I just can't appreciate how you guys have changed my life, just supporting me and helping other black men come up. I mean, that is great. You guys don't have to do that, but I want to take the time to thank you. And this is something that Michael Jordan has done in the past, but taking that shot at Scottie Pippen, he really made an enemy, right? And that's not cool. I can understand why Scottie feels slighted. He don't feel slighted about Larsa Pippen or anything about that. He don't care about her. He's hurt because he gave his life playing hurt sometimes. I remember when Jordan went to go play for the White Sox. It was Pippen that took that team damn near to the NBA title. They lost in Game 7, I believe, to the Knicks, or Game 6. It was Pippen that took that team into still a contender. And look, he don't get enough credit, man. And it's sad when you fought your whole entire life. You don't get enough credit for what you have done. And I keep trying to tell men all in the black America, man, we got to do a great job of appreciating our men, man. It's so many of us black men that we could be so much further if we just showed men respect. That's the one thing that keeps black men from going to the next level. We disrespect our men. And that's something that we got to stop blaming women for about, because one of the things that we do is the way that we interact with each other. We teach women how to treat us, right? Men are so paramount in setting the standard how women need to treat you, but we don't, man. A lot of us, we don't have a lot of respect for each other. Brothers come out our way to do something. Not everybody, but brothers help us achieve great things. There's so many black men that have helped me. My own mom couldn't have helped me do this. A wife couldn't help me do this. If it wasn't for that man putting himself out on the line every day for me, I wouldn't be able to do it. That's the bond that we miss out as men, right? So that way we don't build communities because we don't show respect. And so when you don't show respect, man, you create enemies. And it can be as bad where somebody will kill you. Somebody can hurt you. But once you show your men respect, man, you get so much, because a lot of men, I'm telling you, we're so used to showing each other so much disrespect as black men. Once we get respect, man, we appreciate it so much. And that's all the black man is looking for, to respect what he does, to, you know, not put him down when you know he helped you, and to always acknowledge that, you know what, as good as I was, I wouldn't be as great if that guy wasn't there, and give that guy the props. Let that guy tell his story, but still at the same time, give him the props that he deserves. Well, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jacks, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Appreciate it for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.